Arts Commission of Ojai. Roll call, please.
Sorry. Give me 1 second.
Liaison.
I guess I wasn't ready.
Liaison.
I'm just gonna
Brigitte.
go for it. Chair West.
Present.
Vice Chair Steiner. Here. Commissioner Grau.
Here.
Commissioner Tabak.
Easier than that. It's hard.
Tabak.
Tabak.
Tabak Bank.
Here.
Commissioner Wright.
Here.
Commissioner Wagner.
And I would like to just send a special thank you to council and welcome to Commissioner Wagner. And what you have done is made Commissioner Tabak Bank our senior commissioner now, or at least more senior than you. But welcome, and it's been delightful that you really poured yourself into the arts in Ojai, your whole career up here, but just in the recent weeks as well. So thank you for that, and it's nice to have a nice full staff here. Let's pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I just have to send a little hope for peace to the world.
By the way, did anybody happen to see this morning the president?
Sorry, we're in commission right now. We cannot speak outside of it.
Oh, what is up?
Sorry, that's okay.
Thank you. Well, we have a agenda, minutes are later. So the agenda today has 2 items. And is everyone okay with that? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None? So we'll run with our agenda. All right. You have this presentation, so we'll call it a public comment. Yes, I would like, do we have anything besides this one? Okay. I would like to call our illustrious new CEO of the Ojai Chamber of Commerce to make a public comment, and it's Carla Ferranti. Ferrante.
Thank you.
Rufino.
Thank you, Chair West and Commissioners and the Arts Commission in general. Appreciate this opportunity to speak to you on behalf of the Ojai Valley Chamber of Commerce. I had the opportunity to start working with the Chamber in May of last year, and now we're hitting full stride, and we recently are making an endeavor and initiative to embrace the creative economy of Ojai and help not just sustain and support our local artists, but develop that sector in general. So I just wanted to share with you briefly that part of the Chamber's mission. Obviously, we're here to support our existing businesses and help develop and diversify our economy, but also enrich the life and lifestyle of our local residents. And arts and creative culture is so much integral to that we see that as part of the Chamber's mission. So to that end, we recently had a creative economy workshop, and thanks to Chair West and all of you for joining us, we were able to put together a collaborative list of what might be some endeavors of the community at large, taken on by both the Chamber, the city, and also the local residents as well. So for the Chamber's part of that equation, I wanted to let you know that in consultation with Chair West, the Chamber on March 31st has asked for an agenda item with City Council to ask the City of Ojai to make a proclamation that April will be recognized as the Arts and Culture and Creativity Month, which mirrors the activities with the California for the Arts at the state level. So we will be making that foray, and I'll be meeting tomorrow with the liaisons from the City Council to the Chamber, which are Mayor Gilman and Rachel Ling on that regard. And then the next point of information for you is that the Chamber is moving ahead with a recommendation that came forward in the Creative Economy Workshop from the artists themselves, looking for a Made in Ojai distinction. And so in conversations with city staff, we now have the green light to have the Made in Ojai distinction, and we're going to very visibly cement that at Ojai Day. We will be doing things between now and Ojai Day, but Ojai Day probably will have the most concrete visibility across the whole city in the following regard. We're going to, as the Chamber, take responsibility for the display for Ojai Day between North Ventura Avenue and Signal Street. So that corridor right in front of the Playhouse and El Roblar and Rory's and the library, we're going to create an outdoor art gallery, hopefully with everyone else's support, display of the art, and also some of our handmade artisan vendors that have been working with the Chamber in Libby Park on regular occasion. So that will be a sizable footprint and distinction for the rest of the vendor booths in Ojai Day. So between the proclamation made in Ojai, and then also when we have our regular Libby Park city events that the Chamber organizes, we'll be creating an artist corner. We'll call it the Artist Nook. We're going to invite artists to display their works during those events. So that's kind of a first come, first serve, but we just want to make sure we're adding that footprint into every opportunity the Chamber can identify at this time. So that's what we've done since we last saw you at the Creative Economy Workshop. Let me know if you have any questions in regards to the Chamber or future endeavors or recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I have
Anyone can ask a question.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. First, it is contemplated that the city is going to own the trademark, not the Chamber of Commerce?
The Chamber of Commerce is going to identify the logo. We're not going to actually own the trademark, but we're going to identify the program, and then our expectation is maybe the rightful place for it would be with the Arts Commission. So we're going to lay the groundwork.
Which is the city.
Yeah, and whichever time it comes to rest in the correct location.
And is somebody going to police this?
In regards to police?
To make sure that if it's just the logo, that people from outside Ojai aren't using it.
So the Chamber, for the near term, would be the only one using the logo, and we would just be inviting people to participate in those platforms. So the logo would be just used on the signage or the flyers that the Chamber produces, and then artists would come in that umbrella.
Well,
So the artists themselves wouldn't be using the logo on their individual works or their websites.
really?
Right. For the near term.
Okay. I would think that it would be better if you meted out the logo to people who actually produce things in Ojai, and they can brand their products that way, and then we could police it and make sure that people know it really did come from Ojai. So I would look a little further on than just letting people
Yeah.
know.
I appreciate your suggestion. I don't think the Chamber would take that initiative on because we're not versed as well as yourselves in the artist community. So we would love to do that in partnership with you if that works for you.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
I have a question. I gave you one of these at the Creative Economy. Excuse my voice. I would like to make sure that you connect with the Ojai Studio Artists. We're a network of 75 artists here in the
Right.
Valley. And it's a resource that sometimes gets overlooked.
Yeah, we absolutely would. And our plan is they have a membership that I think had been overlooked. But we'd like to talk with them a little bit further in the regards that we recently did a winter wine walk in February. We're going to be doing wine walks every quarter. So we'd like to integrate an art element into one of those wine walks in collaboration with yourselves. So we'll look forward to that conversation.
Okay.
Thank you.
You can call me anytime.
Okay, thank you.
This is exciting, Carla. Thank you. I just want to reiterate what Bradley said, and I think probably, Bridget, this will have to go to the city and the city manager, but we'll need sophisticated trademark counsel to make all of this happen. It can't, otherwise we lose our trademark, as
Exactly.
we know we already have by virtue of Cars and Cookies. But what you're doing is wonderful, and so thank you for that. It's good to kind of feel this initiative, and I can't wait for April, Art Month.
There we go. Wonderful, thank you.
Can you tell us a little more about the April event where you
Yes, sorry. We have two events on behalf of the city in April. The first one is the Ojai Pixie Tangerine Celebration, and we've extended an invitation to the Pixie Chorus to join us in that event. Again, with every event that we have contracted with the city, we're trying to integrate the artists in all realms. And then the event on April 18th is a little bit further afield in the regards that it's canine focused. So Ojai in the last 4 years had Puppy Love Concert, in which we would try and help the Humane Society have dogs adopted. And we've broadened that now. It's now called Tails, Trails, and Puppy Love. So there is still a concert, but we have a 1K and a 3K, but now it's all things dogs. And that includes dog authors. So we're having dog authors that are homegrown from Ojai come and read their books to the children with their dogs. People are going to be walking with their dogs. So any kind of creativity that we can integrate into that, we will be doing so in conjunction and for the ultimate financial benefit for the Humane Society. So that's what we have so far for April.
Any other questions for Carla? Well, Carla, thanks for being here, and I wanted to thank you again for that. Oh, yes, please. Just go ahead.
Can you say a little bit more about the outdoor gallery that is going to be at Ojai Day? Are you just have an open call for artists, or what's the jury process going to be like for that?
I can't speak to that yet because I just came up with the concept on Monday.
Okay,
And
thank you. It
I
sounds
always
great.
like to integrate any suggestions or recommendations from yourself. I usually tap poor Smitty for his input on it. So my initial concept would be like outdoor carpeting that looks as oriental as I can get it. And truthfully, for it to be a true outdoor gallery, as one would expect, like near the Louvre or something like this. And then we do have to have some vendor booths in between. So if I can get that vendor display to not be your typical 10 by 10 white pop-up, you know, just something that it has a congruity to the look, and really for the artist to be able to interact with the public and speak to their work. So any recommendations you have in terms of who can help with the jurying and elements such as that, we'd greatly invite that help.
And this will go before council the last meeting in March, is that right?
Yes.
And so it'll sort of be law. So we'll jump right in and have some fun with that, I think.
I was just going to mention that there's a second Saturday open studios, April 11th, which is Oakview and, no, it's Miramonte.
Okay, and we can advertise that in conjunction with the Pixie Festival.
Right.
That would be great. Thank you.
So, Carla, we, over the past year, have invited nonprofit organizations to come talk to us, meaning to the community, about what they do and why and what their former and future plans are. And so we appreciate that you are in public comment, but we'd be delighted, maybe after April, to invite you back again for a formal presentation.
We'd love that.
That would be
Thank you.
great.
Appreciate the invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was going to do some closing remarks if there's no more questions. Just come back up for my closing. I wanted to thank you for that breakfast that you did, and there were most of this commission was there. The city manager was there. The mayor was there. Several other council people were there. A representative from the county was there, and our kind of arts lobbyist, Tracy, was there, sort of representing Sacramento. And so it was bravo. I mean, that to me, that was a level of involving kind of government and planning in the chamber that I haven't seen in my 30 years here at the chamber. So I really I hope that the message, I can see that at first maybe chamber members would see, oh, that's for the artists in the chamber or the galleries or something like that. But the real message that I think came across, and I hope the business community hears in Ojai, is that being creative in your business goes far beyond painting something or making or singing a song. All right, it's the future, and there's support from the government to make that happen. So thank you for bringing some intelligent and cogent and informative proceedings. Matt Levere did send, I think it was councilperson Rachel that told me that Matt Levere did send his appreciation for that having occurred, and he had his representative there as well. And so he's very excited to partner with us as we move forward on that. So thanks for taking the lead, because you move things faster than we can.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. All right. I am going to move on to our consent, which is really just one item. I mean, our consent calendar, which is just one item. It was a minutes from last meeting. We're all caught up now. Isn't this fun? I'll first ask if we have any amendments?
I have a couple.
Surprise! Commissioner Wright.
Madam Secretary had a few typos here I'd like to put into record before they are approved. The first one is under approval of agenda. Chair West made motion with second by, and I'd like to include Vice Chair Steiner. So I'm going to add that. And then later I have Tabak Bank's name, a typo there on future agenda items, Commissioner Tabak Bank. So I'm going to be changing that K to an H. And then somehow this Vice Chair Wright asked for discussion on how AC can oversee, and obviously that's Commissioner Wright.
Don't you want to promote yourself?
I was going to thank you for that, actually.
Revolution.
No idea how that got in there, gremlins. And other than that, I think it's clear.
Yeah. So
Anything
Bradley
else?
was the only,
With those emendations, I so move.
any other changes? I'll second that motion. Whose motion? Your movement. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We good, Bridget?
We are good.
All right, let's move on to our discussion items. I did want to point out, it's wonderful to have the minutes coming in up to date now, because I actually used sort of this, our future agenda item kind of capture, to kind of move things ahead, during, because, spurred on by the actual minutes of what we talked about too. And so this item, in fact, was on a future agenda item, and here it is. Yes, Commissioner Wright.
I did a little bit more detail in these minutes than required, but I think sounds like you liked having those.
Sounds
things
like we
in there.
read it, not as closely as
Okay.
you, but
I'll make sure to do that in the future.
Tabak has an H, I'll remember that forever now. Okay, so you'll find an administrative report from me, and I believe it was Commissioner Tabak Bank and/or Commissioner Wright that suggested this Ojai poster thing, and in talking with staff, I felt like the best thing that we could do here, because rather than, we haven't been directly asked by council to do this, but I know that we have supported council to get involved in all things art, as it describes the final part of our duties as a commission, all things art in Ojai. And there was a time when the Ojai Day poster was a significant kind of community builder thing with contests and applicants and advertising, and so it was part of our strategic planning and our 5-year plan in the past as well. So after COVID and the decimation that happened to everything, including Ojai Day, as it's crawling back here now, I had been informally asked by Christy Rivera from the Parks and Rec, she's the Parks and Rec manager, for suggestions like a month or 2 months before Ojai Day a couple of years ago and all too. So I think the best way to word this is, as you'll see in the recommendation in the report, to recommend that the City Council authorize the Arts Commission to participate in and support, we have it down here as a contest. I'm not sure, I might take the word contest out of there, because that may or may not be what it is.
It was a contest before.
It was a contest,
It was a
but I'd like to make it sort of bigger than a contest. I would like to have some discussion about that, and use it as a communication item to continue to show the community what the Arts Commission is doing, and what are the material kind of outflows from that, and just having a poster hanging up. It may involve us taking, they have posters from most of the years, I think, hanging over there at Sarasota Park. Maybe this becomes a part of our city collection, or something like that, and all too. And there's some in here too. So I think this could be, Ojai Day and the Arts Commission, could be. I think they would welcome our help over there. So I neither want to stick my nose in Parks and Rec business, but be here and recommend to council that we offer our our expertise to make the Ojai Day poster a significant thing. So there was some discussion here that I welcome, just discussion from the commission. Selection process, or you can read the list here too, but I'll say it anyways. Broader outreach to the youth, community groups, promote it through our networks, and strengthen the city's commission to local creativity as part of Ojai Day. Yes, Pamela?
In the past, there was prize money. There was,
Yeah, thank you.
there was
It
prize
still
money.
is.
Is there still?
Just come close.
I think so.
So that was an incentive for people to get down with it and get creative.
Mhm.
Is there any reason to believe there's not prize money anymore? I think there is. It's a contest and somebody wins.
Win
And
something,
then
yeah.
They win a small, I think it was a very small amount of money.
I'm
Like
not aware of any
like
prize money this year.
Like
It might have been $500 or
$50
something.
or,
Well, it was $400 in years past.
yeah, but obviously
Yeah.
your poster is reproduced and put up against around town. That's obviously the
Yeah.
biggest prize.
Contest with prizes, and maybe honorable mentions and, ribbons and stuff. I'd like to again well, please, Christine.
I don't want to nitpick, but I seem to consistently nitpick. So I have a few questions about this report. The first relates to Park and Rec's, quote, operational responsibility for the contest. How did that come about? Or has Parks and Rec always administered the program? Because if the underlying assumption here is that Parks and Rec should run it, which is what seems to be the understanding, I just want to know, A, when and how that came about, and B, is it appropriate?
It is actually kind of collaboration between the events coordinator, Christy Rivera, and now the parks manager, Christy Rivera. So she's kind of pushing it into Parks and Recs at the
So-
same time, because they actually run the streets and do all the, setups and help doing, so Parks and Recs is very much involved in Ojai Day itself, but the poster, I think it maybe just got handed to them after COVID, like you said.
I suspect that's true, that it just sort of,
I recall, well, I can tell you that, but I know because I used to be a vendor, in the arts for Ojai Day, and they actually hired a third party for 10 years. I'm sorry, it's Sam's wife.
Well, anyway,
Sam's
that-
Club.
I mean,
But
that-
they paid a consultant to run Ojai Day. And there was a budget, I think, in the tens of thousands of dollars for Ojai Day. Now it's down to like 5 or 10.
And as a portion of this outsourced work, these people determined the poster or someone
No,
else
it
determined
may
the
have even
poster?
been the Arts Commission way back when.
Okay, I would like to, I mean, I don't want to undo the process here, but I think we need to send this back to rewrite. And I say that because I'd like to know whether it's the event's responsibility or Park and Rec's. I also don't agree with the recommendation that the Arts Commission would participate in and support. I'd prefer that it is to support and provide expertise concerning. But because we don't understand the predicate assumption here, and that is who's running this, I'd like to send this back to rewrite.
Well, I do know there has been no contest since COVID, since it restarted.
Yes, sir.
No.
Well,
Yes.
there have been posters.
No, they've had posters, but I mean, one of them, they called me and said, "Do you know an artist?" And I recommended an artist, and he turned something in. They made the poster from it. I mean,
Well,
it
this
is.
is even more to the point that we need to have this handled within the city.
Christy does run an ad in the newspaper for the contest. So there is an actual contest.
There is a
They
contest
turned-
now? Okay.
Last year, they turned them in at Parks and Recs. So I'm not sure how the contest is judged or how they're picked, but it is noticed in the paper.
Okay, well then I think we need more information before we can review a recommendation.
Well,
I-
look, can you have some discussion around what that would look like, or what else do we need to
I just want to
include?
I just want to say that I have seen notices for the Ojai Day poster since COVID,
Okay,
and
okay.
have told people to submit.
Okay,
So, I brought this forward. I think that the Arts Commission should be in charge of it. And then Parks and Rec can, administer where they're hanging these things up when the winner is announced, the logistical things that intertwine with their Ojai Day planning. But the actual art part of it, the Arts Commission should.
well, maybe I can re-steer this discussion then and talk about, is this, I neither want to take something away from someone who's like attached to it, nor walk in saying, we're the experts, we want to do the, the poster and all too. So I
May-
do, so
may I
I'd love some advice just on recommending how,
You do have
what
a
are
public
these next
comment.
step looks like.
You do have a public comment, so before you make any motions or
Is it
vote
on
on
this?
this.
Is it on this? top?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
we
just want to
should-
make sure that they got, before you made your.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Should I have done this already? No, do it now.
No.
Do it now? All right. Oh, well, let's do our public comment from Debbie. Yeah.
Hi.
Debbie Cutler.
Yeah, Devorah Cutler. Nice to talk with everyone. I'm so
I think
excited.
they give you 3 minutes, but, please.
I'm
There's no
going to,
line.
yeah. Okay.
There's a light there.
So what I wanted to suggest is there's a great word that you could include along with contest, which would be a poster presentation. It's like a celebration and contest, so that everybody's a winner in that there would be a space for all the posters that were presented for the contest could be displayed. So you could call it a celebration and an opening, and then that night, if that was the appropriate thing, somebody would be announced as a winner, and that person, there might be a runner-up, and, maybe there'd be, I don't know, free pass to an Ojai Playhouse play or something. In other words, acknowledging the second and third. So I just think it'd be kind of fun to run it as a contest, and I love the equanimity, the idea of including Parks and Rec and getting, is this important to you, or has this been a pain in the, that you don't want to have a participation, and how do you want to be involved, and where is that money legislated and reposed for the contest? So I love the word celebration and contest, So I just wanted to recommend that, and also to have a sense of a gallery display where it would then be acknowledged in the media as well and picked up. And that's it.
Good stuff.
Are we allowed to comment on
And then,
Yes, sure. Ask questions. I've
been a teacher at USC in screenwriting, and I taught art at the museum, County Art Museum, and my whole life has been dedicated to healing and arts. So it just sort of said how do we celebrate our peeps and get them so they can feel seen and heard, and and then another suggestion might be, is there a theme for this year? Does the Art Council want to have it Ojai in healing, or Ojai in peace, or Ojai in community? Is there something that we want to put in there as a word to inspire the artists? Thank you.
Oh, don't go away yet. I wanted to comment, please.
We're going to give you a job.
Right. These are, well, I'm not going to give you a job.
It's okay.
I
I'm
think
not going to
these-
take your job, just so you know.
Very wise.
I'm too busy.
I
Okay.
think, I
Creating
think
art.
these are great suggestions: celebration, a gallery display, a theme. I think these are great, great ideas. And actually, to me, it reinforces what I suggested earlier, which is, let's table this. It's not ready for prime time. I think we can provide suggestions for you, but I agree, we have to speak with Park and Rec and get a sense of whether they want to own this or they don't. It seems that it came to Park and Rec's supervision because it really belongs in events, but clearly we're not ready for prime time here, and I move that we table this.
Okay.
Can I make one more comment? That as an artist, some artists take a while to generate art. So just what would be lead time would also be important. So the artists have 2 months to generate a number of ideas that they then can themselves choose the best one. So thank you again. Thank you for all the great work you do.
Thank you for coming to come every month. Thank you for visiting us.
Hold on.
Yes, hi there.
Hi. My question is there any kind of an honorarium or anything that goes to the person whose work is chosen?
I love the idea. It's a it's an incentive.
Yeah.
I think that's the contest prize money.
Yes.
But I think calling it an honorarium is a great idea, frankly, rather than a prize money. Just saying we're honoring, I think that's great. And everybody is honored. It's
Okay,
just
good.
there's somebody who stands
So
out.
they get something for it.
Yeah, I think
Good.
so. That's right. So
Thank you, Davy.
Great.
You're gonna hear from us. There's no motion to withdraw here, and we'll say table this, but I did, and it may be that we can accomplish a lot of this without a formal motion or vote here and talking to council and all too. But I just wanted to collect any other commissioner suggestions, because a celebration, a contest, a gallery, a theme, a regular cycle, when we want to go to them and kind of give them our ideas.
I think there is a theme every year.
Yeah,
So
it
there's
Ojai?
that. And I think that there's very low turnout on the artwork that
Sure.
is put out, which is why I thought we should start heading this up so we can really make it a much more robust
Okay.
process.
I'd like everyone's temperature on, do we have the bandwidth for this? I would think we did. We can direct this or form committees, like we have in the past for other things that involve the community. Yeah.
I think it's great. I definitely think we should be involved in it, and thank you for Karina for bringing it up, and thank you, Smitty, for bringing it forward, but I think we definitely should be a part of the Ojai Day
Okay.
poster.
So, yeah, beautiful. I'm going to just liaison, Rachel, you can expect that you'll be hearing about us, and absolutely, it looks like a great opportunity for the creative economy thing to get talked about in the valley, and I just want to make sure we do it in a way that's helping staff at the same time.
Is the motion to move this item to a future agenda?
Uh,
There was a motion. We can get a
it wa-
second and yeah,
to make it for a future.
a future
I'll
agenda.
Wasn't
second it.
seconded.
Thank you.
Actually,
What was to withdraw, to table?
well, hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
Can't we make a motion that you talk to city council about, or the Parks and Rec to take that on?
Well, do you guys want a motion?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's say how much we want
Do
to
you
do
want to try it,
this.
or do you want me to?
You, Mr. Chair.
Make a motion that we have a discussion with our stakeholders, which are council members, artist community, staff, and come up with a formal suggestion to council for the involvement of the Arts Commission with the Ojai Day poster.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Just make sure.
Can,
Think you got that
I do.
discussion?
I do.
Karina wants to
we need
add.
an amendment.
Pam seconded.
We need an amendment to that, and Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
I'm s-
Accepted?
Have a
I accept
discussion
that.
with city council members, artists, community, staff, but Parks and Recreation
Parks and Rec.
specifically, right?
Including Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Ready?
I think we're ready for a vote.
Okay,
Ready?
all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Okay, good. Perfect. Thank you.
Opposed? Thank you. Nice, good. Thank you. I think that's a good way to handle that. We could do a lot. We don't have to do a how hole here.
Can I make a comment
Where's Whitney?
Go ahead,
on this?
please.
It seems like this fits right in with
Absolutely.
what Carla was just talking about, how the Chamber of Commerce wants to do more events.
Uh-huh.
So it seems like they could have a very opportune moment to display all these Ojai Day posters.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Great.
Well, we'll be talking with the
that
chamber all throughout this.
Why not?
I think it's a great way to push a couple things ahead simultaneous. All right, so that's it on, do we have any public comments on the next item? The mural stuff. I'm going to turn this part of the meeting over to Vice Chair Steiner to discuss the mural for the Pixie Store.
Thank you. You've heard me speak about this before. There was a mural jury called on the mural application of Pixie's General Store. The mural was held on March 10th. The jury is comprised of 7 members, and those are a representative from the Arts Commission, a representative from Planning or Historic Preservation. In this case, it was Planning because the venue is not of historic nature. 2 arts professionals, a member of the community, an artist, and the applicant herself. The mural jury was called to order. I sort of gave part of the background, and as a preliminary matter, confirmed that there would be no signage on the mural itself as it had appeared in some of the earlier iterations. The applicant agreed. The chair, who was Barbara Hirsch, a former arts commissioner, went through the qualifications identified in the criteria, and these are whether the artist is qualified, the aesthetics of the mural, whether it's appropriate for the architecture, the kind of paint to be used, the wall upon which it would be placed, whether or not it was of an historic nature, the appropriateness for the setting, and whether there were any limitations. The jurors all discussed robustly each of these in turn and brought to you the findings of the jury, that the recommendation for you to approve, reject, or approve with conditions is to approve it with certain conditions, which I will ask Bridget to read into the record.
Condition number 1, do not add business names to the mural pursuant to Ojai Municipal Code 4-16.303. Condition number 2, background will remain the same color as it is currently and will not be painted white as it is shown in the application images. Condition number 3, use of the approved paint pursuant to Ojai Municipal Code 4-16.305D and be coated with the city-approved anti-graffiti application. Condition number 4, the downspout will be considered the right side boundary of the mural to separate the mural from the rest of the building as well as the existing business name on the window. Condition number 5, the mural artist may sign and date the mural at their discretion, with the suggested placement being at the bottom right corner of the mural.
Thank you, Bridget. And so with those conditions, the jury unanimously recommended to you, the Arts Commission, that you approve this mural subject to the conditions. And so I will make that motion.
We do have a raised hand on, we do have a raised hand, so we need to get public comment first. As we take that public comment, I want to note also that one of the obligations in the statute is that the applicant be present for this public hearing at which you are determining whether or not to approve the application. And it should be noted that the applicant is online. The applicant is the one who has her hand raised.
And the applicant, and we will hear from the applicant now. So with that, Whitney.
Go ahead,
thank you.
Whitney. Unmute, please.
Whitney fell asleep.
Whitney,
I
you
was
need
so
to unmute.
long-winded. What's that?
Whitney, you need to unmute.
Already, yeah. Well, if,
Yeah,
oh, great.
she has permission to speak. She just needs to unmute.
But for the record, we note that she actually is online, so that satisfies the requirements of the
Yeah, good.
statute.
Yes.
So I did second that motion, so we can have some discussion on this. I was present because I was on the, so a lot of interesting stuff, so please, fire away.
What we're seeing online, the background's painted white, but it would not be white, it would be the
Correct,
off-white.
correct. It's to be the same color as it currently is, which is sort of a beige.
This was coffee, yeah.
She's commenting, sorry. It's not working, trying
That's what I thought might be the case. Thank you for that.
Ida, do you know what might be the problem?
Let me see if I can figure it out over here.
Karina, did you want to speak?
I don't think
I can speak
We
for
can have some
Whitney if we
discussion
need.
or questions until that works out. Yes, Commissioner Wright.
You guys can ask questions if you want and use my text, since I'm in touch.
I think it has, I think they'll figure it out, yeah.
She's just muted. I've asked her to unmute, but it looks like the other person online can speak for Whitney.
Can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can hear that person.
Yes, go ahead, Elizabeth.
Yes. Hi, I'm Elizabeth from Forage Ojai. This is actually Whitney and I are both in this and putting this together. I don't know what Whitney was going to say, so I'm sorry, but it just asked me to unmute, so that's why I unmuted.
Great. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, this is actually one of my arrangements that we want to have painted on the building. We feel that like my shop is kind of hidden in the back. So for a year now, I've wanted to kind of bring awareness and something beautiful into that space. And Whitney loved the idea. We talked to several artists, we talked to local artists, and just couldn't find one to meet my arrangement and do it in the way that I wanted and also our price point. And then Stephanie, who is, comes up to Ojai a lot, she is the artist and she's fine arts, which is a little more in my style, and she was able to replicate this arrangement perfectly for us. So we both fell in love with it.
Thank you for that. And you know, the mural jury did unanimously agree that the mural is beautiful. So thank you for pointing that out.
Great.
Bridget,
Is
do
that
we
the end
hear
of the
from
public
Whitney,
comment?
or is that the end?
That, yeah, she has permission to talk just like Elizabeth. I don't know why she's not able to, but she did say that, Elizabeth made her point, so.
Good. Please go on. Open questions to Christine.
I'm curious, Vice Chair Steiner, how the jury reconciled the opposition of the mural to the Pixies logo aesthetically.
Yes, that's a good question. So you see, and we can see it on the diagram, on the image in front of us, that the Pixies logo is in the window. And so the determination was made that the downspout would form the right side of the boundary of the mural. And also it's going to be, so that was recognized in one of the conditions, but we're also going to get an actual, and this was Chair West's suggestion, an actual numeric in feet and inches distance from the window, so that we know exactly where it is if the downspout should ever fall.
Christine, this is a different picture in our packet than what's on.
Yes.
Yeah, none of them are,
Yes.
speak to the ones that you have.
That is correct. So this is what I understand to be the one that has been approved. The background will not be white, as I mentioned earlier. It will be the same beige as the extant wall. So I made a motion. I believe we had a second.
We vote?
No other discussion, I just, welcome
Your obligation at this point is to approve, disapprove, or approve with conditions upon the conditions.
If I recall, they said this is the closest to what, I mean, we don't expect them to duplicate this exactly, or how?
No, it was
how do they-
digitally created. I think we can expect that it will be as is.
Uh-huh, okay.
Cropped like that.
At the bottom, yes, yes.
Because
That's
right,
a-
because it
that's a
may need,
different
when the
iteration.
background changes, they may need to make some, I hope the artist would feel
I believe it.
they have the
what-
right to make some.
What we see there, and again, they have the approval to include the artist name and date or not as the artist so chooses. That would be the only material variation on what is before you.
And, I mean, back to this Pixie's General Store logo being adjacent to this mural, everybody's fine with that? Because it's confusing. It looks like it's a mural for Pixie's General Store.
The jury evaluated that question and unanimously determined that there was enough of a distinction between the mural and the logo so that it satisfied the requirements of the statute, which is that commercial identifiers not be upon the mural. That was expressly teased out and
I'm sure,
discussed.
I'm sure, because it is a unique situation.
Yeah, we talked about that, and I think,
A
you know,
unique
picture that if the
situation.
store, remember, the owner is not the Pixies, Steve Springer's the owner. And if the store was to change, then, you know, it might say Acme Fireworks in the future or something, but it would still remain this floral sort of pattern, you know. You know, yeah, we looked at that and talked about that. There was some feedback in the community and social media that I read, so I just want to acknowledge that the public, if appropriate, was questioning a non-resident artist. And I guess the points are, one, it's not us to choose the artist, but it is us to, the mural jury's approval of the artist. And we did acknowledge that she had some close ties to Ojai, and she has a beautiful resume. And the price point is not a competitive thing. She gave a huge discount from $10,000 down to $2,500. So the jury looked at all these factors.
And I want to make a point that I think is very important here. I neglected to make it earlier, but I think it's central, and that is this is a private work of art on a private building in a private setting. And so unlike, for example, CAPA, where we, the city, are acquiring either a work of public art or a two-dimensional work for our city collection, here we have very limited authority. It's more akin to zoning authority than it is to acquisition determination. And so while the points you made are interesting, and certainly the jury did go through these and tease these out, to some extent it exceeds our authority under the statute.
Christine, does the building owner have the right to paint over it if he chose to?
Well, the statute addresses that, and I don't know the answer because that's not before me. I can look it up, but
Well, it seems like if it's private property and it's being privately sponsored.
I think the answer is yes. I mean, if one thing I know in the statute is that if there's maintenance, that sort of falls under our general approval. However, if it's to be painted over and a new mural were to appear, they couldn't do that without coming back before the mural jury process.
Any other questions? I was pleased that we were able to respond to this within 3 months, and my thanks to the staff for turning it from we couldn't do a remote public meeting in a parking lot to we could in about a week. So thank
That,
you to
Bridget.
Liaison Bridget, and it was really a great community kind of gathering, efficiently run by Vice Chair Steiner. And
Bridget-
a unanimous.
Bridget, do you want to try Whitney again before we take our vote? Just in case she has something to say?
Whitney, are you still there? Are you able to unmute?
She said my mic didn't work, I'm good.
Okay.
Ah, thank you.
Mike didn't
Thank
work
you,
on
Whitney.
good.
Thank you, interpreter.
All right, so I'm going to call for a vote unless someone stops me. Let's do a voice, whatever, roll call on this one. No?
I wouldn't know, because it's not money, and our approval is limited.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Whitney and
Thank
Stephen.
you.
and-
Thank
And
you.
our
Thank you all.
Christine for putting together that beautiful
This
jury.
wasted
It's a
paper.
great opportunity for the public to get involved in the creative economy, is to serve on one of our ad hoc or committees or juries. I think we're off to some reports. Commissioner Steiner, Public Art.
Me again.
Yes.
Okay, great.
I think you
Thank
got something to say.
So, yes, I do. Thank you. I have been busy with the mural jury, as you know, and thank you all again for that. I just want to note that, and I've said it before, but coming before council will be a budget request for conservation of the big red roller at the skate park. And there's one aspect that I'd like to have city staff consider, and also our council liaison to consider and bring back. And that is, I certainly agree with the creative economy. And what I'd like to suggest is that that can be extended to the creative pipeline. And so what I mean is that the Public Works Department could designate one of the employees to shadow our paid conservator. These people make a lot of money. These are great jobs. And someone who is interested in art or is interested in stuff, in things, could shadow the conservator, could learn how one does maintenance. One of the reasons these works are so expensive for us at this point to conserve is because we've had years of deferred maintenance. And so with maintenance on a regular schedule, with a designated person who's part of our creative pipeline, we have solved two problems. We're keeping our costs down, and we are making creative jobs for our local economy. Thank you.
Hi. So my first report is that next week on March 25th, I'm going to be doing the enrichment seminar at the museum. The speaker I had couldn't do it, so I'm giving a presentation of Beginners Procreate, which is working with digital tools. It's digital tools for analog artists. And I'm putting it, I'll start posting it tomorrow, but it's gone out in the museum flyer, and I've circulated it privately, but it will go out. It's the 25th from 3 to 4:30 at the Ojai Valley Museum. March, next week. The other thing I want to talk about is the Ojai Studio Artist is doing a fundraising event called Small Works, Big Impact. And our artists are donating 10 by 10 paintings that will be auctioned. Well, it's an event on April 19th from 5 to 7 at Blanche Sylvia, which I also want to call out to Jenny Prover for creating a beautiful new gallery in town. So we have a new gallery space, and we're really excited about it.
That's Commissioner comments.
What was that?
Commissioner comments.
Yes. Oh, sorry. The other thing I want to talk about is we attended the Creative Economy Workshop, and I just finished a second Saturday open studio tour of my area. Every second Saturday, one neighborhood in Ojai is open, and mine was the Arbolada area. And I had close to 100 people come through.
Wow.
And so when you think, and most of the people I didn't know. So when you think about how many people that is to come into Ojai, they're eating, they're shopping, they're doing other things besides shopping our studio. So that was a boon. There's a show at the Carolyn Glasgow Bailey Foundation, Glimmers. And there's a talk by Cassandra, well, you need tickets, Cassandra Jones, it's Support Group for Modern Times. And that's on March 21st from 4 to 6. And I think that's all I want to do.
All right. Thank you for fighting through that with losing your voice. I decided to let you get your comments in.
Oh,
as
one
well.
more thing.
Yes.
Usually we pay an honorarium to somebody who does a presentation. I don't want that, but I was wondering if we could take mine and give it to the museum. Wendy's done a terrific job arranging chairs and having extra staff when we do our enrichment program. And I was wondering.
We'll check on that. I don't think we're allowed to accept any
Yeah,
money.
I think that would have to be a
so-
discussion and a vote. It's money.
That's why I wanted to ask. Okay.
Yeah, it's money, so, yeah, right.
But if you do that, I just want to say that I've done 2 of these and I never asked for anything. So I would love to contribute what should have been my honorarium also, assuming this goes forward, because the museum has been so very generous, and all museums, especially these days with reduction in philanthropic support and grant support, all arts institutions need help. So,
Well, I was going to say, the day that we do our presentation, the museum is actually closed. So they staff and open it up for us. And
Right.
it is an extra expense for them. So
Yeah,
So
we're just
give
gonna be
them-
careful
give
with
them
money,
both
and it
of
has to be a
mine, too.
separate item, and I don't wanna get too creative with the ways that money is extracted from the city coffers, but certainly your heart is in the right place, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, I could take the honorarium and give it to them.
Yeah.
But
But you can't take one as a commissioner, though, so. Thank you. Commissioner Wright?
Just a brief update that, as I mentioned at the beginning of the year, working on improving the grants application for the 2027 cycle. And I would like to have that all on target and ready for approval by June, and really hoping to get a grant application workshop on the schedule for the public for August before the September 1 applications open. So I'll be working with staff liaison Bridget Mara on that, and the tech people and whoever else is going to help us.
Thank you. And to our new commissioners, well.
Yeah,
I'll
I
just
need
go
to
now.
add them, I'm sorry. I need
me?
to add them to this
No,
agenda.
no,
so-
well, they don't have anything to talk about yet, I hope not. But certainly, the way that, in our meetings each week, there's the reports, and when we do our strategic planning, we're gonna kind of divvy up what makes sense with our new commissioners and ones that we're saying goodbye to, where the different roles are played, and it'll tie in with our strategic plan. This is where you report each sort of month if there's anything new happening that we need to hear about. Now, commissioner comments, which you'll see at the end, is where you're sort of free to make any hopefully positive comments about the community or yourself or your activities as well, too, just to kind of give you a primer on that. I'll talk a little bit about our strategic planning. Everything happens slow, you know. I try to push it, but we were able to. We had to go out for RFQ for facilitators, and so that's open right now for 2 weeks, and it'll be closed, I think, a week from last Tuesday, I think, is when it's going to close. And we'll quickly pick a facilitator and then look at dates for strategic planning sessions. But we'll have to approve that at the next meeting as well, but hopefully we'll have it by then. Because the planning is kind of pushing back a little here, we're going to come up against our budget cycle too. So I want to make sure that we're ready to make our lobby for grants, public art maintenance, public art in general, any other collections of the city or ownership of the city, anything we think we might need next year, mentorship. I want to make sure that we, excuse me, I think end of the last meeting of May is when the council's final budget meeting is. It's around that calendar. It's about in there too. So we need to be ready in April.
Okay. You'd be
for that. Yeah, yeah. Our April meeting, we want to make sure that have allowance for, even if our strategic planning hasn't been completed. And Bridget has found some creative ways that we can, if we discuss it here at a meeting, we can maybe move some things around too. What are we paying for? Like for this facilitator, we may move some money from one of the other things, and it'll have to go to council for approval, but just make sure we have our little chunk of operating expenses paid for as well too. After the creative economy thing, it was a lot of fun, and it's good to see council and other government people excited. We've been looking at, and working with the chamber, looking at bricks and mortar, sort of maybe a place to get an office, it'll have 4 walls to hang art, maybe a desk so you can have a meeting, just a little space or something like that. And I'm glad that there's people with more authority and smarter than me working on that too, but I'm excited that might happen.
May I ask a
Yes,
question?
you may.
Do you mean an art department or a cultural affairs department, or what?
I'm not even sure the form it
4
would take
walls.
if it would be a chamber office. I'm hoping it would be a city-owned office or a county-owned office that will just be kind of the future center for whatever this creative economy movement is. Maybe it's the chamber in Congress with the chamber as well. But we want a staff person for the arts, and so it may be easier to get an office first.
I'd urge you to think along the lines, and Council Member Lang also, along the lines of what other entities do. They have cultural affairs departments. So I think having some sort of relaxed joint thing between chamber and city isn't really what you want. I think what we want to be pushing for is a cultural affairs department or an art department. I like culture just because it's broader and it's really what we are about. But as you present this around the world, if you could think of it as
You're absolutely right.
pushing toward cultural affairs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've been a little sloppy but because I don't know who's going to be the first person to donate an office, and if it's the county, for instance, it'll have a different picture because David.
But I don't think, again, that's backwards. I don't think we want to get a donation for an unspecified thing. I think we want a department. So, for example, we wouldn't have had the earlier discussion about the poster, whether it belongs in Parks and Rec, if we had a cultural affairs division.
Yes,
and
exactly.
so we really ought to be on even footing there, and we shouldn't be looking for a donation of anything until we know what we are.
Yeah, well, good. And
Can
I
I-
promise you, I'll when we do our budget meeting, I'm going to have something to say about that when we get in April. Yes.
It's ironic because I was just noticing in other cities, this same type of commission is called Arts and Culture Commission. And maybe we should seek to redefine who we are by adding culture to the arts. I would assume that would require an amendment to the ordinances
We have
in the city.
what do we have?
seems
We
like
have a
there's something
division called, there's a commission, isn't there? Heritage, or is it historic? What's the
Historic preservation, but that's different.
Yeah, that's
different.
yeah, completely.
That's like buildings and stuff.
Buildings,
too.
yeah, locations.
No, you're right, and it aligns with the way grant structures come down from the government too as well. This
And it-
creative
clear-
thing may become the new buzzword. We'll see.
Yeah. It would be clearer what our jurisdiction is, and in a way, it both clarifies and expands what this commission can look into and recommend to the city council.
Very good. I'm going to make a future agenda item to discuss this very thing, because we need, my sense that, in the last couple of weeks, everyone's been excited and talking and all too, and it's sort of like who's wagging who, and, we only have so much authority, and if someone with more authority and budget takes it over, we want to lead, follow, or get out of the way, whatever's best for the community and the arts. So I'll make sure that gets on a future agenda item. Along with that, I love the maintenance shadow idea. because that's a money saver, to have, yeah, I just like that. I'm gonna put that on future agenda items.
Good, creative pipeline.
Creative pipeline, love it. We need to walk the walk too, right, as a government. That's why I think we should contribute to public art out of that budget too. Okay, I think, they're future agenda items, so let's grab the creative pipeline maintenance shadow as an item. It's a low-hanging fruit one, I think. And let's, and budget. Budget planning, call it, yeah.
I don't think we actually, I mean, I think the whole shadowing of the public works person is something you can bring to the city manager. I mean, we could discuss it, but I think we want to spend our time discussing the budget. That's just, in a way, it's not our purview to tell public works how to deploy their staff, but it certainly seems like the right thing to do, and I'd as soon not take up our time with it anymore.
Yeah, right, good. I guess just to take up more time, I want to make sure that I want to show how it's not telling them how to do, we need this weed whacker working here. It's about actually building the economic and artistic expertise in the community and making the jobs better. So
Could it be dovetailed into a discussion that there is going to be a designated part of Public Works that actually is committed to maintaining our public art?
Well, I think it could be. I like the soft pedaling, like Christine mentioned it too.
I mean, are they supposed to?
But let's just get it on the agenda item, and we'll have this discussion.
I guess it'll be on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're going to carry over something from last time, which you'll just carry them because they were good.
Well, we're going to have the public art budget discussion.
Yeah. Our hope on that, go ahead and keep it, but our hope on that, it'll become a part of our regular report. We're diligent on that, as diligent as diligence can be. And Ojai Day poster. And we talked, Commissioner Tabak Bank, we had about the trademark. Give me 3 words that summarizes the trademark issue for a future agenda item.
The Ojai distinction trademark?
You mean the made in Ojai?
Yeah. The
Made in
Ojai
Ojai
distinction.
If I may, I mean, while I would love to see many things under our purview, my view is that this is really a city council question, because trademark is, well, I was going to speak about this during commissioner comments, but shall I speak about it now?
No, but I think I'm going to agree with you when you do speak about it too. I'd like to use these comments are a great sort of planner for me to keep things on there. I'm not going to shove something on the meeting just without at least buy-in from, from 2 people when it's ready. So I'll be, this is more like collection for things that need done. But I'll look forward to hearing from that during your comments.
Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, the point is, it's not for us to put on a
Yeah,
future agenda. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Anyone else for a future agenda? We've been kind of collecting some things. All right.
Well,
Yes.
I did bring up the future agenda item determining eligibility for grant applicants who have received grants in 2 or 3 consecutive years. And
What do you need for that? Do you need any
I need
staff support?
clarification on whether it's 2 or 3 years, or if it is a rule at all.
And whether there's no limitation whatsoever.
Let's
I
just
agree.
ask staff right now to put that on our things to do. Let's just get an answer. And
Well,
then
no, there isn't. What we know is that there isn't an answer. It is not a quote rule, although it was in the handbook as who knows what even to call it. It seems to be the unwritten policy.
Can we ask Commissioner Wright, when you bring your summary of the kind of addendums or changes or what worked and what didn't work to the whole grant process, that just where there's not something already spoken to, you just include it in there?
I can include it, but I think that this is worthy of a larger discussion, which is
You want commissioner
whether,
input on it?
whether it's our decision or not, but I think that it should be, made aware that people are getting grants 3 years consecutively, 2 years consecutively, and if we want to have a distinct rule against, repeat applicants, if that's the intention of the city council.
Moreover, it's a matter of great interest within the community, and we do want community input on this. And so for that reason as well, I
Okay.
think we need to have a robust discussion.
All right. We'll,
And
somebody
I'll
put
try to
on
get
a-
to the root of this information. I mean, many people know this information, and it comes up, like, I applied last year, can I apply next year?
right,
Right.
we're
So-
talking about multiple year applying, that's sort
Yeah,
of
so-
nebulous,
So
and
at one point, it was
I've never seen it
two-
enforced.
I've never seen it real.
But I can tell you as an applicant, I can remember not applying because I had gotten one for so many years in a row.
And we
yeah.
did make the distinct ruling.
It does sound like
grants,
we're having a
future-
discussion right now.
It's all right. Yeah, that's why
Oh.
I'm about to stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on
Grants-
here, and,
Okay,
Good
Yeah.
for bringing that up.
That's fine.
thank you. All right. Time for, if there's no other future agenda items, we'll go on to Bridget's staff report.
yeah, just a couple things. I've got that report in my hands, and I'm working with community development to get it all updated. They thought they had things, and then they keep coming back to me saying, this is different, that is different, so I want to make sure it's perfect before I bring it into you.
If I might, I just want to mention, the whole problem we ran into looking for the budget was that the previous report was not done by the finance department, it was done by community
Community
development.
development, yes.
That report we used to get, and they didn't talk to each other, so that's sort of one of these things
My
we've
goal is to
uncovered.
kind of,
Right.
my
Thank
goal is to
goodness.
kind of combine that report with the actual
So there's
fund,
some
so we can see,
is-
how the money got in there and where it's where it's at and whatever, you know what I'm saying?
So we're clear for the record, what we're talking about is the amount that is in the Public Art Fund.
Yeah.
This is the fund into which private developers place their percent for art monies. It's also the fund into which anyone can donate. Hardy har, wouldn't that be lovely if they so chose? But that's the fund we're speaking about. Thank you for that.
Yes, I'm working hard. It's all coming together
And there
now.
may be some interest in there that we didn't know about. That's another thing that's come up from the finance people. So,
Exactly, yes.
I-
We have gotten 2 interests emails on the facilitator, and they have been forwarded to Chair West, so he's looking at those, and they've been explained to
you.
about what to do, and I think that's all I have.
That's all you got?
I
Beautiful.
just want to say one thing, which is that I know Smitty thanked you for your good work on the mural jury, but I want to emphasize that. Thank you. It ran really smoothly, and I know how much work you
It
did
will
behind the
run
scenes to
much
make that
more
happen.
smoothly the next time, now that I've got it down.
Need more murals. Okay. Councilmember Lang, did you want to talk to us? Oh,
Always. Hi, everyone. I wanted to welcome our new members. Congratulations on serving this amazing community and being a part of this commission. I also wanted to thank those of you who came to the Creative Economy workshop. It was great to see you all represented there, and I thought it went really well, and I heard great things about it about what happened after I left. And I took a lot of notes tonight, so I will be probably working with you, Smitty, to make sure that I'm communicating with staff and helping to liaise in whatever way I can. And then there's one thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, and that is that last week, our last city council meeting, we had a presentation by the Green Coalition for the development of the 8 acres of City Hall property. And they have a lot of really great ideas, one being ways that we can bring more art and more community activities here. And so I think it would be a good idea for you all to watch that part of the council meeting. It's the very first part, so you can go right to it, and to see if there's any ideas or anything that you all want to bring forward as a commission to participate. There's going to be a commercial kitchen, an event space, the demonstration garden, composting. They're looking at a whole creative center in the carriage house. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, just in case you weren't aware of what's happening. And the council did vote to support the Green Coalition in moving forward with the plans to renovate this whole space, or not this building, but to work on the plan that they have that they presented to us. So very exciting, and I think there will be a lot of great movement for art in our community. And then Smitty and I attended today just a brief meeting about looking at a space, and I took your suggestions and notes in mind. So I'm sure we will be bringing all of these things back to you. And then one final thing, that is, last time I was here, I talked about how I'm working on collaborations, one being with California for the Arts, and I'm still, meetings have been moved around, and there have been some delays, but I'm still on top of this. So I hope to have a report for you next month. And finally, I just wish I could stay your liaison all year long. You all are so much fun to work with, and you're doing such a great job. So thank you.
Wait, before you go, please. Well, first, thank you. That's a lot going on. I don't know whether you know, and if not, I'll research it, but whether there's a % for art obligation that attaches to all of that work that will be happening.
I'm not sure about that.
I'll look into it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I know there was for Libby Bowl. That's the reason the Sound Arch exists. It was a % for art earmark, so I'll look into that.
Yes, yeah, I'll when I meet with the city manager on Monday, I'll ask him about that too.
But you like the
Talk
idea.
to him about trademark when you
Yeah.
meet with him.
Okay, so trademark, cultural, I have a whole list from tonight, so that'll go on my list.
The creative pipeline.
Yes, exactly, the creative pipeline.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay, let's, before we adjourn, let's see if we have any commissioner comments. We can start. I don't want to start. Oh, good. Thank you, Bradley.
No, I was just saying no.
Oh, you're waving. Oh, you don't have any commissioner? Pamela, I feel like you made yours, but do you have anything else?
You know, I want to call out to David Berger and the Playhouse.
Uh-huh.
This has become such an incredible asset to our community, and I just feel he's doing such a great job. He has a lot of free films and seems to have his finger on the pulse of the community. So just want to thank him.
Thank you. How about our newest commissioner, Commissioner Carolyn?
Well, Rachel's left, but I wanted to commend her and then you, Chair Smitty, and the mayor on facilitating the Creative Economy event. I've mentioned it to a number of people in the community who were not there, including some artists who were really interested in what the content of the event was, and I referred them to Rachel's Substack. So I'm hoping that that can be broadly publicized. And also, I participated in the, or I observed the jury presentation regarding the mural, which was excellent, and also the Ojai Studio Artist event, and really enjoyed Pamela's presentation. And she was demonstrating her artwork to the 100 people who came, and it was really wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Wright, you got anything for us?
I would just like to know if Commissioner Leeds is off the commission now.
Yes, he did resign
Okay,
last month. I'm sorry if that wasn't
Okay.
communicated effectively.
because he's still on here. And thank him for his service.
Yes.
Other than that, no comments.
Okay. Commissioner Steiner?
Thank you. First, I just want to say how lovely it is to have what's almost a full complement of 7. We're up to 6 commissioners, and it's just a lovely commission. We've got a lot of work to do, so it's good to have so many involved people. And then I just want to close by noting that the mural jury was covered by both the Ojai Valley News as well as by Vortex, and that's great. And I know that once we have our planning session, we'll have a communications person, but this is exactly the sort of thing we should be doing. We should be getting this degree of attention for our many community activities.
All right, I'll just make some final comments about the Chamber's breakfast on the creative economy. There was a give and take session that I was the scribe for afterwards, and it almost was a lay down for what our strategic plan and session, our strategic planning was 2 years ago, and that the importance of education and mentorships, the importance of having a hub and spoke, both physically brick and mortar and technologically, where ideas could come together, a strong communication effort so that we can know what the left hand is doing and know what each other are doing in our community as well, and the creation of spaces, and what public art is, the creation of spaces where conversations take place, in public spaces too. So it looks like we have found a partner with these kind of stakeholders out there, and I'll continue to kind of pursue that in line, with what we're doing, because it looks like it may be a kind of a no resistance kind of way to kind of drive it forward. So with that, yeah. So with that, I thank you all for your service, and we're adjourned till April's regular meeting.
Great.
Thank you.
That's why we have her. She's done it. She's already did it. It's off. That's why I wanted to say I don't think it's fair that ever have to tell everybody to shut their mouth when it's that,
I said something once, Bradley.
Did